Hello and welcome to another episode of In the Wheels. We are the show that champions all riders from world champs to weekend warriors, where everyone has their story to tell. And today's episode we have the amazing Hannah Beck. She's a returning guest. She's someone I'm very happy to have on whenever our schedules align. So it's great to chat to her. We talk about what it's like to be a privateer, what it's like to race World Cups and having to find your own sponsors, your own flights and transport and logistics, and not having that team set up around you, but also the dangers of overtraining come up. So I think it's a highly instructive episode. It was really fun to record. And it's just a great time. So settle in and relax and enjoy myself chatting with Hannah Beck. Hi Hannah, thanks so much for joining us again. You're like the most repeat guest that I've had. I'm not even angry about it. It's always a pleasure to chat with you, and I don't think we've actually had a chat this year. So
No.
first time this season, so we're pacing well.
Yeah, I think so too.
But yeah, how's things going?
Oh, it's been a wild roller coaster ride for sure this year. So, yeah, when I look back on just the past 2, 3, 4 weeks, it's been a bit tough. But in general, I think this year has been definitely very nice and full of learnings and lessons. And yeah.
Yeah, I think we'll get into that as a bit of a season recap. It's hard to think of where the season even started because it's like
Yeah.
so much has happened. I know that the last round was Sao Paulo. So yeah, shall we talk Sao Paulo first and
Yeah.
then work backwards while I try and remember the rest of the World Cup season?
Yes. Yeah,
So,
Sao Paulo was. I actually didn't know if I'm gonna race in Sao Paulo or not. I spent all the months before Sao Paulo trying to just get enough money to make it happen. And I, yeah, the whole time I was just thinking, is it worth to spend so much money on the travel? Because the flights were crazy. I paid 2,000 euros for the round trip of going to Turkey for the World Cup and then going to Brazil, just for the flight. So it was really a big budget that I had to spend. So I thought about it a long time, and then I did just kind of like a last minute thing where I was like, okay, let's just do it. Let's go for it. Yeah, and it turned out to be really nice.
like the atmosphere when I was watching like seemed so incredible. And I guess yeah, like certainly in the women's, there's a lot. There's Marcela Lima, Matos, and is it Iara Caetano? I want to
Yeah,
say. And yeah, like they're both incredible riders, but often they're having to come over to Europe, and
yeah.
it must have been nice to race them on kind of home turf, so to speak. And certainly, the crowds were hot for it, and certainly keen.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when you do such a long travel and you go to their home country, and then you just start to think of like, damn, they have to do this every single time for every World Cup. They need to travel so far, so it was nice for them not having to travel that much once in a year. Yeah, and the crowd, the people there, it's it's been amazing because they all really just love cycling and they were just so excited to be there, and you can really feel that they're just so excited about the race happening, and it's been really nice. I've also been to the race venue the day before for a press conference as the only
Oh,
athlete, so I also got to know a lot of people there already. And
mm,
then, yeah, because I did the interviews there, the local news wrote about me. So a lot more
cool.
people knew my name, and then it felt so incredible to have all those people shouting my name at the racetrack. It was really nice.
Yeah, because I saw you did some social media stuff with, I can't even remember it. I'm gonna guess Felix. I don't
Yeah.
know why. Yes, I was right. Yeah, and so I was like, oh, this is really cool, and it looked like you were really getting involved, and like, I guess if you spent so much money to get there, you might as well like get every ounce out of that.
Yeah, I think like well I enjoy like one of the parts I enjoy the most of racing is that you get to meet so many people and just get to meet a new culture, and it's just so different in every country. So I always try to yeah make the most out of it, to get to know people, talk to them, talk about their experiences, and just yeah, it's been really fun to talking to so many and getting to know a lot of people there.
Yeah, yeah, and I've managed to seek out the results of each, or certainly where every race happens, so I can now talk about it with a bit more confidence. But yeah, how was the actual racing? It looked interesting because it again, it's a different group of riders, which brings a different race dynamic, and therefore,
Yeah,
you know, it's not a full field compared to a European race, perhaps. Because I think there's only eight of you, right?
yeah.
So that made it quite limited in that sense. But yeah, how was the racing for you?
Yeah, in Latin America, when you go to a race, so it was my first race there, but you can definitely feel that it's different from the racing that I'm used to from Europe.
Mm,
Um, it's much more aggressive. You don't, they don't take a step back. You push and push and push to the absolute limit, and nobody is gonna take a step
mhm,
back and give the other person the front position. So the fight is really, really tough, more aggressive. But yeah, I really enjoyed the racing because it was a different track than we usually have. With the roots from the tree, it was just a natural obstacle, which we
mm,
don't have very often. So yeah, it was just different for once. And the racing itself for me, it went quite well. The race week before in Turkey, the World Cup was not really going that well. So I was a bit frustrated and didn't really know what to expect from Brazil because I just came out of my exam season. I was still
mm,
writing on my exams when I traveled to Brazil. And yeah, of course, I didn't manage to train as much as I would have loved to. So in Turkey, it was just a lot because in between the races, I was still writing on my essay for university. So I didn't really have a lot of energy. And then I I just didn't really know if it's actually just that I'm too busy with exam season or if it's my shape that's just not there at the moment. So
mm,
those are just the kind of self-doubts you have, and I try to shut them off. I spend a lot of time on the track together with Dili. She showed me her lines and the way she rides the obstacles, and also she rode behind me for a few laps, trying to give me feedback on mistakes I do and where I can improve my speed. So yeah, I really had a very good track recon with her, and that gave me a lot of confidence and helped me for sure because I knew exactly what I was doing and where I was doing what and for what reason. Yeah, so I was really happy with the racing because for the first time, I felt like for the first time this year, it felt like I'm really in there in the mix, that I have the power
mm.
to push on. I have a really good start and I managed to just stay in touch with the pro riders. So that was really that was really nice. But yeah, in the end, I wish I could be really proud about the race, but it's always a really hard part for me to actually be proud of myself. And then now when I look back, in I was in the small final racing for uh, P5 to P8, and I got seventh in the end. And we raced two laps, and like in the transition from lap one to lap two, I did a mistake where I just stopped pedaling too early over a small obstacle. And there's a video of me where you can clearly see I was in touch with the other riders and I got the gap there. they pushed away, and in the end, it's still like it's on my mind. It's been on my mind for so long. So yeah, at least I know what I need to work on. So I've been working on it a lot. But yeah, when I look back, I still like wish I would have made it different at that point. Yeah, who knows what would have happened if I managed to keep the wheel.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's kind of it must feel weird going into an event where there's only 8 of you, where like everyone's guaranteed 2 rides then. It's not the kind of full send where everyone has to race because they could get eliminated. Because yeah, like if you make a mistake, then okay, you're going to be in a small final. And it's kind of, does that change the dynamic of how you race?
I think not really because it's like this
Mm,
every World Cup we have. So every time you end up in the semifinals, you just need to, yeah, be aware of the tactics and you need to consider whether it's worth pushing to the limit, going all out, trying to secure a final spot because, yeah, obviously that's what you want. But sometimes, yeah, during the race, yeah, when you have a big enough gap and you see that it's too big and you probably won't catch it, then sometimes it also makes sense to not push too much, save a bit of energy, still push a little bit because you never know what happens. So if someone crashes or if there's a mechanical, still push. So if something happens, you still have the chance to pass, but don't spend too much energy, so you will be
mm,
too wasted to actually then push in the small final. So yeah, you always need to play tactical. So yeah, that's what I was trying to do in Brazil. I was racing against Marion and Marcella, two of the
mhm,
big favorites for the race. And I knew coming into the heat that they are definitely the favorites for making it into the final. And if everything goes according to plan, they should make it. But yeah, I had a good quali, like the quali run itself. I did a few mistakes, but I felt the confidence.
mm,
So I was like, yeah, I know I can do this. I just need to push and we'll see. And I actually managed to hold on for quite a bit. But
mm.
then, yeah, coming into the second lap, I was like, okay, yeah, now they're gone. Let me just take it a bit slower, save some energy.
Yeah. And
Because,
when you got that semi-final draw, it's like 2 Germans versus 2
yeah,
Brazilians, and like part of me is like, ah, do you remember that time in the Football World Cup where it was 7-1?
yeah.
And like, could we maybe do a repeat of that, please?
The amount of times I got messages with that, it's yeah. It was really funny because usually that rarely happens in a World Cup race that you have just two nations in one heat.
Mm,
So it was really funny. Um, yeah, but with the two, like with Marion and Marcella, they are just incredibly strong. So in the end, you always need to consider because it's in the end, like my goal for this season was always to collect as many points as I can for the overall. And then now that Brazil was the like last World Cup before we go to the final round, so I always had that in the back of my mind. I'm in a good position in the overall. There are
mm,
not a lot of people racing here that are trying to get good positions in the overall, so this is my chance to make a lot of points and to catch up on people and to overtake people in the general ranking.
yep.
So yeah, that's why I also try to play it tactical to have some
Mm,
energy to get the most amount of points. Yeah, which I did. So that's also the reason, one of the reasons why I went to Brazil. Brazil was just to get as many points for the overall as I can. And it worked out great, but now that I'm not racing the final round, it kind of is like, ah, oh, damn it. But I'm still happy that I did it because it's just been, yeah, just life experience. I learned a lot and it was a lot of fun too. So no regrets, but yeah, it's still, yeah, I don't know. I try not to think about it, but it's still annoying me a little bit that I can't be there in Barcelona to defend my position in the overall.
Yeah, I mean, currently at time of recording, you're sat in eighth, which is great going. Like to be top 10,
Yeah,
like 34 riders have scored points, so you're, in the top quarter of that. That's amazing. Um, and there's a lot to be proud of for that, I would say. Um, a lot of it is testament to your endurance of, you know, racing multiple rounds. Because it started in Tajikistan, which is a crazy place to have gone. Um,
yeah.
what was that like? Because it's not ever a holiday destination or somewhere I would pick out of a brochure to visit.
Yeah, I was when I saw Tajikistan on the list of the like when I saw it on the calendar, I was like, oh damn, I really want to go there because I just haven't heard a lot about the country and I want to learn more about it and see, uh, yeah, how the country is like. So it was a really exciting trip. Not so easy to get there as well because the flights from Zurich they only go to Tajikistan every 2 days. So I already had to travel there on Wednesday before the race. I arrived on Thursday in the morning, and then I had to travel back immediately the night after the race because there was just the next flight was leaving on Tuesday. So it was either Sunday night or you leave on Tuesday. So yeah, um, but it was really nice to be there. To be honest, I was really surprised. They have some stunning architecture for sure. Like the architecture around there, it looked so beautiful, and then everything was just full of flowers. And I love when it's colorful and a lot of flowers. So it looked amazing. So it was just, yeah, nice to see another country and to race there. Also because, yeah, of course, racing is not that typical there. Mountain bike racing, eliminator racing, and then having a race in the city center of the capital was just yeah, very very nice.
Yeah, awesome. And then yeah, the rest of the season was Loiva on a quite a familiar course. Sakaraya, which again, did they use the normal course for the World Cup? And oh, wait, the World Championships were next. Oh, that was weird.
Yeah,
Yeah,
both.
World Champs were next, and it was a different course to the usual one because you did
Yeah,
2 laps, and yeah, that was a bit crazy in that sense.
yeah.
How was that racing for you?
Yeah, when we came to the racetrack, I mean, we've been in Sakarya for a couple of years already, and we've had European Championship there. So the European riders, they know the track very, very well because we've been there for quite a couple of times. We also had a national series race there as well, so
Hmm.
we are all just very familiar with the track. And coming into the World Championship, we already expected that they will make some twists to the race course, and it's not gonna be like it was in the past years. Yeah, so they took out some of the corners that we had before. So we didn't it, before, like the years before, we had a few turns on the grass, and now they just made a straight line. And a new obstacle actually because the last year after the starting straight, we just had a small corner and then just a small downhill, like just a few meters on the grass. And this year they turned it into stairs, and then after the stairs there was a rock garden. And let me tell you, it looks really easy, the obstacle, but the problem is that the stairs are not in like the gaps in between the single stairs steps, they are not in a rhythm. So when you ride
Oh.
over the staircase with speed, your back wheel just pushes up into the air for quite a while. So if you don't put enough like of your body weight onto your back wheel is just gonna be in the air, hanging around there for a little while, and it's very easy to just lose then the front. And the problem is, after the stairs, there's immediately a rock garden. So if you crash, you will land on a rock garden, which is
Hmm.
quite painful. So it looks really easy, and when you ride it slowly, it's manageable for sure. But that's what I always say about Eliminator. The obstacles, they just get dangerous with the speed that you take them. You always try to
Mhm.
test the limit, and it's the same with those with the staircase. You just go with full speed, and then it gets really dangerous with how the bike is, yeah, reacting to it and behaving on it. So that was that was a tough one, and we had a
Yeah,
lot of crashes there, a lot of crashes.
yeah, it looked really, really tough, and yeah, as you said, the crashes were certainly quite something.
Yeah,
It's a lot of the time it was just keeping yourself safe. I mean, Edwin Lind certainly seemed to have the best tactic of just
yeah,
leave everyone behind and then just race your own race.
yeah,
No one to worry about, and if it, no one in front of you who can crash and disrupt your race,
yeah.
seemed to work quite nicely.
I was so happy when I saw. I was after my race. I spent some times like I didn't really have the time to actually think about my world championship race because I was just walking around helping out friends that had a bad race or that just had to throw up because they went all out. And I was just walking around, being there for my friends, for the other athletes. And I had a long talk with Lena. And yeah, then I saw Madison who crashed during the practice and wasn't able to race the world championship. So I also talked to her. And then I was at the racetrack and really, it's always so hard because I'm just friends with everyone. So you kind of know the story that everybody had to go through to get to this point on this level of racing. So I kind of want it for everybody, but in the end, it's only one person that can take the title. And then during the race, you just sometimes I just don't even know who to cheer for because they're all my friends racing against each other. And yeah, I was so nervous. I mean, I wasn't racing anymore, but I was just so nervous watching them. And yeah, with Edwin, I mean, he was on a really good level last year, and he just missed out on the championships because of small mistakes and crashes. I still remember in Aalen when he crashed in one of the last corners, just slipped
Mm.
away. And it's just, yeah, he really wanted his revenge this year. And he wanted it so bad, and he had such a good success during some of the World Cup races last year and this year. So he really, really deserved this. And so when he managed it, and just I was watching the race from the sideline when I saw him putting away, I was like, damn, he is really on form today. He has all the power. He is just, yeah, just pushing from the front, getting the gap, and I was really happy for him when he made it. Yeah, he's been a good friend of mine for a while, and he also played a huge role this year, actually, in me realizing that I'm in overtraining. He was actually
Mm.
the person that in Brazil after the race we had a talk, and he at dinner, and he was telling me, "Don't you think maybe you just do too much?" And then, yeah, we had a long talk. We talked about training. We talked about all the things that I'm doing. And yeah, when I got back home, um, that was the reason, that talk, why I started to look into it and try to figure out what's actually going on with my body. So I'm just, yeah, very thankful for that talk. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I want to get onto that topic shortly. But the Worlds weren't the only championships you competed in.
Yeah.
There's also the German championships, which, yeah, that was like, I
Yeah.
remember someone provided like a live ticker. I can't even remember who, but there's
Yeah.
like live updates, and I was like, if you had not like if you didn't have bad luck, you'd just have no luck at all. Um, because it was just, yeah, I guess we both know what happened, but for the benefit of the
Yeah.
audience, what happened?
So I think when talking about the German championship, it's good to know the backstory. We
Mm.
had, so I had exam season at university. I've been traveling the whole semester, so I wasn't at university a lot. I tried to, but of course I missed out a lot because of the competition. So Yeah, and then usually we have 1 week of vacation, but where I do a lot of prep for then the exams. But during this 1 week of vacation, of this 1 week break from university, it was my big training week before World Champs. So I did 21 hours of training, really hard and tough training. I was completely done after the week. I didn't have the energy to do anything besides laying in bed and resting and recovering. So yeah, exam season was really stressful for me. And while I was in exam season, writing exams, I was organizing and booking the travel for Turkey and Brazil because I don't have a team. I do everything myself. I don't have a manager. So when I say everything, I mean everything from accounting to booking the flights and the hotels, which usually team managers do. And yeah, after a race, I write a little paper for my sponsors to tell them about how the race has been and provide them with pictures. So it's a lot of work that I do around the races, and having to do all of the organizing for such a big trip while I was in exam season was already, uh, it was a lot. I mean, I didn't sleep a lot because exams and I needed to study really badly.
Mm.
So yeah, when I went to Turkey, I was still not over with the exam season. I still had to hand in one essay, so I was writing on it the whole time, like all day long. I was writing on the essay. I went for a training ride 2 hours, and when I came back, I went straight back to writing on my essay. Even on race day, we had the qualifications in the morning. After the qualifications, all the athletes, we ate something and then they went to sleep. I sat there with my laptop on, just writing on my essay, hoping I can finish as soon as possible. So after the race, I didn't go to dinner with all the other athletes. Like a lot of the athletes spent some time together. I sat on my iPad writing on my essay, and I had to hand it in the night from Monday to Tuesday. So Monday, the whole day, again, I was writing on my essay. And you have to think of like the night after the race, I was awake till like 3 in the night writing on the essay. I fell asleep while writing the essay. And I woke up in the morning still having my iPad in my hands. And then, yeah, I spent the whole day writing again into the night. But on Tuesday, early morning, we had to leave for our flight to Brazil. So I was writing on the essay till I think like 11 in the evening. Then I handed it in and we had to leave, I think at 2 in the morning, something like that. So after I handed in my essay, I had to start packing my bike, packing my luggage. In the end, I had like 1.5 hours of sleep before we went to the airport. And then at the airport, it was a lot of waiting. Yeah, and then a 12-hour flight to Brazil, which is not really relaxing at all. So that has been really tough, basically no recovery at all. And then after the race in Brazil, because we found out spontaneously that we will have German champs, it was a very last minute thing, and I got the news just a few weeks before. And then because the trip was so expensive, I tried to take the cheapest flights possible. So the goal was to get back home as fast as possible for German Championship and as cheap as possible. So after the race, I packed my bike, I went to dinner, I packed my luggage, and I went to the airport at 1 in the night. After a race, it is really tough when you don't get your sleep after a race. So I was awake till 4 in the morning because we had the boarding there. Then I stayed awake till we got the first meal, which was at 6 in the morning. And then I tried to sleep, but yeah, I was sitting, for once, I didn't have a window seat. I was in the aisle seat. And I swear I was asleep for 30 minutes when the person next to me woke me up because they had to go to the
Uh,
toilet. And it kept going like this the whole flight. I could only sleep for 30 minutes, 1 hour, and I woke up again and again. I then arrived at 10 in the night on Monday evening in Istanbul. But my flight to Germany was in the next morning, so I had to spend the whole night at the airport. And yeah, I'm alone at the airport, traveling alone. It's not really the place you want to sleep in when
no.
you're on your own. So
I mean,
I,
and it's bright lights anyway. Like I've tried
yeah,
sleeping in an airport, and it just doesn't happen, regardless
yeah,
of safety. But I can imagine for you as a single traveler, it's not the
yeah.
safest conditions.
And then I stayed awake till the next flight in the morning. I traveled home. My parents picked me up. I was at home at my parents' house at 2 in the afternoon on Tuesday.
Hmm.
I had traveled for a long, long time when you think of the fact that I started traveling Sunday night.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I was I was completely dead after this travel because I barely had sleep. But I tried to stay awake till the evening to try to get into a normal sleep rhythm and adapt again to beat the jet lag as fast as possible. And the German championships were already on Friday on the other side of the country, which was a 7 hour drive for us. So we had to leave on Thursday already because it was not possible to make it before the race. It was too stressful. So we had to
Hmm.
leave Thursday and I came back home Tuesday afternoon. So Tuesday afternoon, I built up my bike. I washed my bike. I cleaned it and assembled everything together. Then I'm really grateful for my mom. Shout out to her because I gave her my wash, like my dirty clothes, and she put it in the washing machine and took care of that for me. And then on Wednesday, I spent the whole day just trying to pack my bags, trying to just survive it because I was not feeling very well. And then
Mm.
on Thursday, I spent the whole day in the car doing a track check in the evening. And yeah, on Friday it was race day for German champs. So yeah, I explained it now for a long time, but I think it's important to give the backstory because
Yeah.
I was absolutely tired when I made it to German champs. And yeah, when I raced there, like before I even started warming up, I was already shaking because I just didn't have any energy. I felt so exhausted, and during the warm up, my whole body, I could really feel how empty I am.
Mm.
So we started with semifinals. I qualified. We started with semifinals, and I didn't make it through. I just didn't have the power. And then in the small final, I knew that I can win this one. I knew I could make it to fifth place, and I knew I'm the strongest one here, and I controlled the whole race from the front. It was already a bit of a bummer not to make it to the final because it was, yeah, I mean, of course I won the medal at the German Championship, and it's been a goal
Yeah.
for a while, and one day it will happen. It just was not meant to be this year, but yeah, one day. But it was a bit of a bummer not to make it to the final. And then racing for P5, I controlled the race from the front the whole time because I knew I had the strongest start. I sprinted to the front, attacked from the front. I pushed the pedals. I pushed up the speed, and then there was a little section where you couldn't overtake. So I slowed down to recover. They catched up, but I could recover in that time. So every
Hmm.
time they tried to attack and overtake, I just pushed and they didn't manage. I neutralized every attack that was out there. And then, yeah, going from lap one to lap two, the start and finish straight, it's really big. So I held up the speed high. I pushed so hard to keep the front. I managed it. And then something that is I think the other two girls were cross country riders. And for me, as an eliminator rider, I know my strength is that we are used to pedaling all the time. Like we pedal, like it's after every corner, you try to start pedaling as early as possible. So I knew that be like this will be my advantage on the last. We had a little short downhill and then it went uphill. And on the
Mm.
downhill, I already started pedaling and pushing because I was like, this is gonna be my chance if I start pedaling there before the others. I will just have way more speed coming into the uphill, so I can sprint a lot easier. Yeah, and then while riding down that hill, my chain dropped, and I was just pedaling, and there was no speed coming through. Oh, and it's just like I mean, in the end, if you're really honest, at a championship, it's always about one, two, and three. Those are the
Mhm.
positions that count. especially position one, because you want that jersey so bad, that championship jersey. So in the end, if I come in on fifth position or on seventh position, it's just something about my ego and myself because I really want that fifth place. But yeah, I'm quite fortunate to have sponsors that really support me with everything I do, and they don't put any pressure on me with results or anything. So in the end, it just comes down to myself. And I'm not really mad about the placement because, yeah, I would have loved to grab a medal and not position five or seven.
Mm.
But knowing you controlled the race and knowing you were the strongest one, and then losing it so close to the finish line, it really hurt a lot. And it's Eliminator. It's just not possible to get off the bike and run because it was an uphill, so you were just way too slow to run up there in time. So yeah, that one really destroyed me because it really hurt a lot. Not because
Mm.
of the placement, just because I, I thought I almost have it, and then I saw the position just like slipping out of my hands. I was so close to the finish line, and then just when you think like almost think you already made it, and then it's taken away from you. Yeah, it's not a nice feeling. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I get you on that. Yeah, it did sound tough, and I could hear when we did chat, like briefly afterwards, I could hear kind of the anguish in your voice about it. Um, I was like, this hasn't gone well. And I could tell it had
Yeah.
been a long season anyway. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, that was the close to your season. Because you made what I will say is a courageous decision to just stop at that point where you've gone, yeah, I think I'm overtraining. I need to just not race.
Yeah.
Um, was that an easy decision for you to make?
No, not at all. I think because also it was really hard to actually realize it and accept it because
Mm,
I didn't really stop after German Championship. I knew I was really tired and my body needed a break. So we did a rest week and I tried to do just a base mile session, do some endurance. And I did a 3 hour spin with a friend and we really went easy. But afterwards, I was so exhausted. I felt like I just did a crazy interval training session. And then I was like, okay, I think my body is telling me I need a bit of a longer break. So I tried then like the week after I tried to do some intervals, but most of them I had to end the session. I couldn't fulfill the whole training session of the intervals, and then I went to Salzburg to race there. And yeah, it was all right. I mean, my body was still tired, so I wasn't able to really perform that well because I was just tired. And
mm,
then after that, I went to Elodie's place in Belgium, and I was supposed to race in the Netherlands the week after. And I talked a lot with Elodie. Yeah, she's very honest with me and always tells me what she thinks. And yeah, we talked a lot about my season this year and everything that has happened. And she really helped me a lot to see a different point of view or just realize a lot of things about myself. So that week there was so good in that way, but also for the
mm.
first time, I really felt like I can actually relax because I was a little princess up there in Belgium. She took really good care of me and made sure that yeah, I feel well. And then we went to the race in the Netherlands, and I still felt tired. I barely trained when I was at LD's place because I was too tired still. So when it was race day, I then saw the racetrack and I did the first track check, and then I started to realize like I'm so tired. It's not even just the sprinting, it's also that I just have zero concentration on the obstacles. Like I don't even have the energy to concentrate myself. And it's getting really dangerous like this, racing like
Mm.
this. I then raced the time trials because we were not a lot of girls starting, and I felt like I needed to race, and like I'm supposed to race, and yeah, it was a bit hard for me to pull out. So I did the time trial, but the whole time trial, it just felt like someone is pushing the brakes. I felt so slow, and I
Mm.
was pushing, and I really was trying, but yeah, I was not really making it over the obstacles smoothly because I just there was a lack of concentration and energy, and then with feeling so slow and feeling like I'm pushing and I'm not moving, like it felt like I'm stuck in the place and not moving. So I then was like, yeah, to be honest, it's not really fun to race like this because I'm just gonna be frustrated with the result because I will be dropped because I have no energy. And then I was also like, is this really healthy what I'm doing here? Probably not. So yeah, I pulled out of the race. I didn't go to the start line for the heats, and that was the end to my season. It took me quite some time. Like even after that, we weren't sure if it's actually overtraining. I went to the doctors. I did a couple of tests to get the confirmation because we were also trying to figure out whether I just have maybe a virus or an illness, something else. But we were able to rule that out and get the confirmation that it's actually overtraining. And that was really, really tough. Like right now, to be honest, I'm kind of relieved of not racing the last races because I know my body was so tired. I couldn't really train a lot in the last weeks. So my shape isn't where it's supposed to be or where it can be.
Mm.
Racing like this, yeah, you can do it, but is it gonna be a pleasant experience? Probably not because it will be frustrating. So yeah, I know that racing the last two races, European champs and the final World Cup of the season, it would have been just frustrating for me knowing that I've been better the season before. And then feeling so tired all the time, having no energy, traveling like this, yeah, no, it just doesn't make sense. So I know it's for the better not to race, but I think the fact that hurted me the most is that I spent all year working so hard trying to make everything happen, making university happen, just trying to yeah, keep the content coming on my social media, starting to work with social media. Um, yeah, the amount of contract discussions I did myself this year, that like the amount of things I organized for the season, my own jersey, founding my own team to wear my own jersey, the amount of money I had to like I only had to found a team because if you don't found a team in Germany, you're not allowed to race with your own jersey with sponsors on, only
Okay.
with a neutral jersey. So I had to found a team, but that cost me 300 euros. So just so I can wear my own jersey, I had to pay 300 euros and do the registration. So that's just a lot of extra stress and financial pressure because 300 euros, that's like the amount of money I spent on hotels for 2 weeks of racing in Turkey and Brazil. So yeah, the whole season I was working really hard, trying to make it all happen with training and managing the financial stuff. And yeah, I don't know. I worked so hard, and in the end, it's just that I worked too hard because I just fully stopped actually taking time for myself and recovering, and I never managed to actually shut off all the thoughts in my head. It's just I never have a weekend. I don't have time off because I'm always reachable on my phone, and yeah, then I'm studying on the weekend, and I'm filming stuff for customers that I have, like for the videos for social media, like all of that. I don't really have a weekend, and I don't really have time off where I can relax because I then just keep my thoughts keep spiraling about the things that I still have to do. So yeah, um, that was just one of the big parts. I really trained hard this year, and it was a lot, and I pushed over the limit definitely. But it's also just that I I just didn't have any recovery, like not at all, zero recovery. Yeah, so I worked all year to make it happen to race every World Cup, and now being so close to making it. Last year I was, I think, on place 22 or 24 in the overall. Now I'm on place 8. It's a crazy, crazy improvement. But yeah, it's for the better. Health comes first. And if I'm really honest, I've had symptoms of being tired and feeling the lack of energy. I've had those symptoms since May or even April. And I just kept pushing through because all the time I was just telling myself, you're just too sensitive, or maybe you're just lazy. You need to push through because, yeah, I also kept like procrastinating
Hmm.
because I had so much stress and so much I had to do. I felt so overwhelmed by it that I didn't know where to start. So sometimes I just sat there in my room and I was like, I have so much to do and I don't even know where to start. And then, I mean, that even made it worse because yeah, I need to start somewhere. And if you don't start and just push it away from you for a bit, it's just going to be more stress and more pressure in the end. So, yeah, it just kept adding up this year and this season. So, yeah, I think for me, now looking back, the most shocking part is that I ignored my own signs. Like my body was clearly showing me signs, and I ignored it for so long. And that's kind of what's shocking me because it's my 14th racing season. I know my body very well.
Yeah.
I have a good body feeling. And now looking back, seeing that I ignored my body for so long, it's really shocking. But yeah, I've learned from it. And the goal for next year is that I definitely need to change up something in my daily routine. I need to try to maybe find a management, try to find even more sponsors for next season so I don't constantly have the financial pressure of yeah, when I damage something on my bike during a race, I know I'm not racing the next race because
Hmm.
I need the money to repair the bike. So stuff like this, it's always something in the back of my mind, and this will be the goal for next year, trying to find ways of reducing this. And I currently don't know exactly yet what I will do to change it and what the next steps will be, but I do know I need to change up something because I clearly cannot keep going like this. At some point, it's just too much to handle. So, yeah, it's definitely a big turning point in my career as an athlete right now.
Yeah.
Um, it's scary because I don't know how it's gonna turn out in the next weeks and months. It's scary because you don't have a plan and don't know how to continue. But yeah, I always found my way, and I'm sure I will find my way again and fight my way through, but not
Hmm.
fight over the limit this time, hopefully.
Yeah, it's one of those that like it- it's a case of like, yeah, you either take a rest or your body does for you.
Yeah.
And like it sounds like your body was trying its best to take that rest for you, and you just
Yeah.
it, it's tricky as well because like cycling is so steeped in kind of this folkloric history of like, George Hincapie racing on the Champs-Elysees with a broken rib, or
Yeah.
just like these feats of endurance and toughness because yeah, it's like uh, it makes legends, but equally it can ruin a rider's career. Like you could get burnt out, and then what's the
Yeah.
legacy there? Um, or in more extreme examples, like Sonny Colbrelli having to stop, like
Yeah.
because he just I can't even remember what it was, but I know it was like he basically raced when he was unwell, and that just led to
Yeah.
complications. And like, yeah, we don't want that for any rider, you know. And yeah, as I said, like I'm always proud when I'm supporting you because I'm like, I know you're always trying your best, but I'm
Yeah.
also proud that you didn't race in Colleen. Like, you just went,
Yeah.
no, actually, I need to stop. And I think that's one of
Yeah.
the best things you've done this year.
Yeah.
So, yeah. it's like it feels weird to say it, but yeah, actually, I'm glad you didn't race, and
Yeah.
there's a lot to be proud of from this year. So, how do you come back from overtraining? Like, do you even know? Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
so for now, I mean, I didn't do a lot of training anyway the past weeks because I was really, really tired. I'm now doing an early off season. So, yeah, it's kind of now that I'm not racing, I just do my normal off season, resting, recovering, giving the body a break. So, yeah, I try to do other things, no sport, but still trying to keep a bit of movement for my body. So currently, like, yeah, usually you can still, like, it depends on the athlete. Some athletes like to still do something during the off season. I usually prefer to not do anything. And now with the overtraining, like, the problem for me is like usually when I have things stuck in my head and I don't know how to deal with it. I just go on a bike. I go out for a bike ride. I ride for 2 hours and I'm fine again because
mm,
it helps me so much to sort out my thoughts. But now I'm like not supposed to ride my bike. And also like the bike is the thing that's currently hurting me or that like the thing that went wrong. So I cannot
yeah,
really go on the bike to shut off my thoughts and to clear my head. So yeah, I decided to do like a full stop from sports, just walks and strolls around the city. But now I feel like I have more energy again. So the plan will be to just slowly start with sport again, and to see how the body reacts and behaves. So yeah, for me in the next week, like I'm gonna start training in the next couple of days again. I'm gonna start with just easy sessions, beginning with just like 1 hour, 2 hour bike rides, very easy, going a bit of swimming, including some running into training, doing a lot of other sports, just moving my body. And then, yeah, for the beginning, I will just do endurance rides, long endurance rides, and just no intervals for now, no sprints, no all out sessions, trying to keep yeah, my heart rate low, trying to stay in the endurance zones. Yeah, and then I mean it's kind of difficult because it's not like something when you break your leg and then it's like okay 6 weeks and then you're allowed to move again and put some weight on your leg again and on the bones. Um, yeah, obviously it's not that easy. I know I've been there, done that.
hmm
Of course, sometimes yeah, it still hurts and you need to figure out how much can I go. But with overtraining, there's not like a clear plan of how you come back. It's just, yeah, you have to wait and see. And it's not like you can say, yeah, in 6 weeks I'm going to be back because it really depends on how your body is reacting and how you can recover. So yeah, I always like to have a plan. Like I'm not really a crazy organized person, not at all, but I do like to have a plan, and that's stressing me out a little bit that I cannot make a plan and I don't just like I just have to sit here and wait. So yeah, but slow training sessions, slow and easy sessions, that's gonna be the way back.
yeah. That sounds good, and I, yeah, I hope you can come back from it.
Yeah.
It's always great watching you race and knowing, that a friend's doing something they love, and competing and trying their hardest. Like, yeah, it's just great to see. Um, so yeah, what's the general vibe? I don't want to say plan. Plan feels like too strong a word now, but like, what's the general vibe for next year and what you want to do?
I definitely want to keep racing in Eliminator, but I also said that I want to be more open to other events because
Mm,
yeah, this year I was so focused on racing all the races of Eliminator out there, and I was so yeah, just so focused on this overall and trying to make it happen that I forgot to actually focus and get a clear head and realize what's going on. So I don't want to race all the races of Eliminator out there next year. That's what I know for sure. This year I went to Marseille early in the year to race an Eliminator race of the French Cup. So I have a Eliminator race in my leggies before I go race a World Cup. But I'm not gonna do that next year. I'm gonna race a few Eliminator races where I know I'm gonna have a good time, I'm gonna have fun, and I'm gonna enjoy it. But I don't want things to end like it has this season. So yeah, and I just want to try new things. I want to be open to new things like I did this year when I raced in Frankfurt, Eschborn Frankfurt, on the road. It was just uh, like a amateur race. Everybody was able to register and go race there, but
Was that
I had
the Jedermann that they do each
yeah,
year? Yeah, yeah.
yeah, and it was the most fun I had in a while. Like it was so much fun racing there with no pressure, not giving a single care in the world about the result, and just going out there because you love the sport. And yeah, I was invited by Red Bull Germany for that race, and they gave me the starting position, like the starting place. And that's definitely I want to do more next year, doing races like this, doing fun races. Elodie also said like, yeah, maybe Hannah, you need to try a marathon race. So you might
Oh
see me
yeah.
doing not a long marathon race. I'm not gonna do the crazy, crazy long ones. I'm not at that point yet, but I do want to race marathon, like maybe one or two. I don't know yet. We'll see. I will just freestyle it. But yeah, maybe a marathon. Maybe also just doing a local cross country race. Just yeah, I know I'm not done with racing yet, and I do want to keep going in Eliminator because I love the discipline and I love everything about it. But the way I did the season, when you don't have a team and go to the races on your own, and like all the other athletes, of course, they also have to do the travel, and some of the other athletes also have to do the travel alone. But when you have a team that books everything for you, or sometimes when you travel together with other people, with your team, it's just so much more relaxing because you don't have to be the one responsible for everything
hmm
and you don't have to take care of everything. So as long as I don't have like full the full financial security and the full support around me with like a team or a sponsor that covers the whole race season, I'm not gonna keep going like this because it was just too much. Yeah.
No,
So
but
I don't really know myself yet.
it
Kind of.
sounds like you've had a year full of learning, and
Yeah,
although
definitely.
they're potentially kind of harsh lessons, they're
Yeah,
still very worthwhile lessons that you're not going to forget and that are going to
yeah,
help you going forward.
definitely. And even though there were some harsh lessons and it did hurt a lot now getting the diagnosis of overtraining, I still had a lot of fun this year. I love going to the races and I love the traveling. So I really enjoyed every single thing I did out there, but it was in total just too much. But yeah, I did have a lot of fun as well. And it was a nice season, a fun season, and with lots of new learnings, with fun learnings, like new words and in different languages and stuff like that. But
Mhm.
yeah, just a bit too much of everything in the end. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, we're very close to the hour mark, so with the intro and outro, this will probably get there.
Yeah.
Um, and I know that this could easily have been a 2 hour, 3 hour thing if
Yeah.
we needed it to be. Um,
Definitely.
so let's call it there.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. How can people follow you on social media when you are, happy and making content and have the energy to do so?
Yeah. So my Instagram is Hannah Becky. And yeah, I basically have the same name everywhere. So TikTok, Instagram, I don't know what else is there out there. I don't know. Just I have the same name everywhere, same username.
Yep.
Hannah Becky.
Awesome. Well,
Alrighty.
yeah, that'll be on screen right now so people can see it.
Thanks.
First time we've had a TikTok plug, I think. Yeah. Normally it's Instagram and sometimes Strava gets a shout, but
Oh, dang.
TikTok, wow. Yeah.
Oh, and also
Breaking new ground.
Facebook. I still have Facebook
Wow.
and Threads.
Yeah. I don't even know. Like, yeah. I mean, I use Facebook, but I don't use it, if that makes sense. Like,
Yeah, same.
it constantly tells me I've got like 3 or 4 notifications that I look and it's like stuff from like 2 weeks ago. I'm like, that I've seen already as
Oh
well.
no.
It's like, I'm not sure I do have notifications. You just want me to look at you, don't you?
Yeah.
Which I guess, yeah, all social media is trying to
Yeah.
take our attention and energy and being a little
Yeah.
vampire. But anyway, before we get too far in the weeds, yeah, thank you so much for your time, and I can't wait to see what next year brings. And yeah, just keep going, basically.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
Well, there you go. A lovely chat. Another one in the books between me and Hannah Beck. Yeah, she's just really friendly and someone I know I can chat with easily. Well done for making it through the hour. If you want more of these, do, as I said, probably at the start, do give us a like and subscribe so you can hear more Hannah content as well as more of just the amazing riders that we're getting.